Well, this is a heads up in regards to this gas crisis that seems to keep on looming here as folks are reaching out from all over saying that they're going to gas station after gas station and it's looking like this. I shared this last night on Twitter. This is from North Carolina, where individuals are saying that although there's gas stations around, very few have the unleaded that they're looking for. Many of them just had the diesel. Some of them are getting their last shipments and they were filling up and they were going quick. Other people showing up with massive drums and containers, filling them up, and it's just a big run on the gas at this point because people don't want to run out or be stuck in a situation where they can't get to work or they can't do what they need to do. And this is affecting multiple states: Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's been talk of this continuing for a couple more days. Some of the gas stations down here saying that they may not see another shipment till next week after.
This Missouri Democrat
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
Jamila Nasheed says she stands with 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick by saying, she said, quote, "I love America, but I want to support a brother who is shining a light on injustice." The teacher is punished for standing up for her country. A California school district will discipline the woman after she lowered her students' participation grades when they refused to stand during the Pledge of Allegiance. The protesting students claim they disagree with the meaning behind the pledge, and the district is backing them up.
First at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, where the Faculty Senate Gender Inclusivity Task Force created a poster titled, "What Should I Call You?" The poster instructs that, quote, when introducing yourself, offer your name and pronouns, even to familiar colleagues and students. We decided to give it a try, so here it goes. I'm Britt Hume, and I go by he, him, and his. For students who don't get it right, it also instructs them on how to apologize. Vanderbilt issued name tags to faculty members that include their preferred pronouns to make it clear what they go by. Vanderbilt told Fox News the standards are, quote, not formal university policy, but they are part of an effort by students and faculty, quote, to create a welcome and inclusive campus community.
A chemical weapons attack that got no mention on any of the major networks. Gary Johnson is here and joins the Kelly File Live in a moment, but first we go to Benjamin Hall in London with the big story from Aleppo. Benjamin?
Megan, it's been just over 3 years since President Obama said that the use of chemical weapons in Syria would be a red line. Well, today one report says it's just part of the normal. On Tuesday, another attack in the northern city of Aleppo. Emergency volunteers were on the scene before the dust had even settled. And as they began pulling people from the rubble, they realized this was different. Dozens were taken to an underground hospital with breathing problems, choking and coughing. At least 70 people were treated, and a 13-year-old girl and a 29-year-old man later died from complications. The casualties were filmed being washed and decontaminated to get traces of chemicals off their bodies. But the Syrian government denies using chemical weapons. In October 2014, a Russian-led plan was agreed to remove Syria's chemical stockpiles from the country, all 600 tons of it. It's a deal now widely seen as a way to prevent Obama acting on the red line. And today, Russia continues to help the Syrian regime, bombing what it claims are terrorist targets, but which sometimes turn out to be US-backed rebels. And at the same time, Russia say they want to work with the US. There were talks of another meeting between Kerry and his Russian counterpart Lavrov for Friday, but the State Department today said there isn't a big hope for success, and they may no longer go ahead.
Well, there is a big new wall that is being built on the border to stop illegal immigrants from entering a country. But it is not where you might think.
The UK now announcing a plan to build a wall to stop migrants from sneaking into Britain from France. So could this actually be a big told you so moment for Donald Trump?
Venezuela is in deep trouble tonight. Once blessed with the riches of its oil, the socialist nation is now on the brink of economic collapse. As the situation worsens, the number of Venezuelans seeking asylum here in America is surging. Correspondent Brian Yennis shows us what's happening and why.
Uprising in Venezuela. Just last week, hundreds of thousands protested in the streets of the capital of Caracas, demanding President Nicolas Maduro step down. Cell phone video reportedly capturing angry protesters chasing their president, yelling they are hungry. People are starving from massive food shortages. Others are dying in hospitals from lack of medicines. Looting, blackouts, an economy in free fall, estimated to run out of cash by year's end. Venezuela is crumbling under the weight of Maduro's oppressive socialist regime.
We're looking at something we've never seen in Latin America at this scale, which is a failed state.
This as Venezuela's socialist president Maduro, who was elected in 2013, fights to stay in power despite a petition with enough signatures calling for a referendum vote to oust him.
Those people that signed that petition are now being pursued, and they're being chased, and they're being denied benefits, passports, and worst of all, the reason why the government knows who they are is because the Electoral Commission told them.
Now Venezuelans are fleeing to the United States. According to the Pew Research Center, more than 10,000 have applied for asylum so far in 2016. That's up more than 168% from the same time last year.
Stephen Hawking wrote in a 2014 op-ed that the potential benefits of artificial intelligence are huge, that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. But then he went on, unfortunately, it might also be the last event. Hawking and Bill Gates and Elon Musk and many other big thinkers warn we ought to be spending more time and money on the risks of AI, not just speeding it along.
What this is about is much more than that, and the goal is very different. The goal is to help you make better decisions. And I believe in some number of years in front of us, every important decision you make, you will be aided by this sort of technology. Every important decision will be aided by it because you're going to have this cognitive overload. And those benefits will far outstrip and outweigh some of what will be some impact. And so I think the world we envision is this world that is assisted by this. And it allows you to do things that you do best, that humans do best. So it is a world of man and machine. It is not man versus machine.
Will we always be in charge? Will we always be able to turn the machine off?
Self-driving cars aren't just the future, they are the very near future. So near, in fact, that tomorrow morning the federal government will issue new regulations for them.
Federal officials say they see great potential in self-driving vehicles, saving drivers money, time, and lives. But they also see potential risks. The Department of Transportation is now unveiling new federal policy aimed at regulating automated cars before they're allowed on the road. It includes a 15-point safety assessment from a vehicle's design to testing to deployment. Federal transportation officials say they want the ability to approve new driverless technologies and regulate post-sale software upgrades.
The federal government will soon release plans to regulate driverless automobiles. Companies such as Uber, Google, and Tesla have already been testing various kinds of automated technologies. Some of their vehicles have even, in fact, hit the roads in several cities across the United States. And in an opinion piece published in this morning's Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, President Obama wrote about the new guidelines, saying, and I quote, automated vehicles have the potential to save tens of thousands of lives each year, but we have to get it right. Americans deserve to know they'll be safe today, even as we develop and deploy the technologies of tomorrow, end quote.
All right, self-driving cars are nothing new in Pittsburgh, though, and a major company debuting them, and maybe a lot of them in the years to come, has raised some eyebrows. Fox News correspondent Rob Schmidt here in Pittsburgh with the very latest. Hey, Rob.
So, hey, Neil, yeah, we're talking about Uber here today. You know, car accidents kill more than 30,000 people in this country every single year. And now there are companies working to fix that. Uber is one of them. Also Tesla, Google, Ford as well. And Uber is offering up autonomous ride service, so driverless car ride service here in Pittsburgh. And it starts today here in the Steel City. And we took a ride, and we're going to show you right now what it's like to have your car drive you.
Knows that the light just turned green, and now, as you can see, it's turning itself. Turn signal and everything. I had nothing to do with that. Obviously, there's a lot of skepticism about the safety of these cars, but you can't deny that the technology is amazing.
And here's a look at those cars here on your screen. You see that spinning LiDAR unit on top. It provides a 360-degree scan of everything around the car. There are also lasers and 20 cameras watching for everything and anything. However, there are critics to this, saying that this technology is being rolled out to the public too fast. Tesla, of course, gave us a reminder. A crash in May reminded us from Tesla that this technology is still a work in progress. A man was killed in Florida when a self-driving Tesla barreled into a tractor trailer. Some critics say Uber is getting way ahead of itself, releasing this today, trying to release it before the technology is perfected.